this topic, the world, you need to know the fact that there are, what I'll say, are two worlds. Because if you tuned in to the topic about the soul, you would recognize that the soul sees a different world, experiences a different world than our human mind does. Our human mind is a mind essentially of fear, of uneasiness, of worry, and for good reason. There is nothing stable about this world. Neither the physicality of this world nor the feeling states that we have as a human being have any stability whatsoever, because the world is changeable. There's nothing that stays the same. The world is a constantly deteriorating world. It's going to last a certain amount of time and then blow out time. Whatever happens, the world ends, because the world is physical. The world isn't spirit. Well, Jesus says to you, life is in the spirit world. Life is in the spirit. The body is nothing, or the flesh is nothing. So if we're invested in the world of the flesh, if we're invested in our bodily being, we believe that the world which Jesus says is nothing, we think is something. Something that's nothing, we're saying, is something. The soul, when it thinks of the world, never does. In the times when I went out of this world and I was in the soul world, I had no awareness or memory at all that this world existed. None. Yet, when my soul is brought back into this world, it remembers that other world, but when it's in that world, it never remembers this one. And so you can see that there are two awarenesses of what we're going to call the world. There's the world of the soul, and there's the world of the thinking human mind. Now, we have to face the fact, what are we talking about when we say that there is a world and that you're in this world? Again, the scripture is so frank and so consistent on it. Denial of this world as legit is just left and right. Jesus says to you, excuse me, don't you know that you're God's? Oh, really, Jesus? Frankly, no. Well, doesn't your Lord tell you that you're God's? And he's referring to Psalm 82, in which God is talking to his gods. And Jesus brings this into what he's saying to the people at that time. And essentially God is saying to his gods, what in heavens are you birds doing? What are you doing? Obviously referring to the fact that you are in another world. And that's not my world. In my world there would be thus and so, love, peace, that, etc. And he says, that's my world. What are you doing? So we're in a different mindset that makes a different world. And it is not the world of God. God says it to you again. You're in this world, but you're not of it. Well, if you're not of this world, got to be another world that you're of. And of course it is. It's the world of the soul. And he states, you're not of this world, which means this world has nothing whatsoever to do with God. Otherwise you would be of it and of the world that God made. And he's saying, you didn't make this. Life is in the spirit. This is an experience that you're having, but it ain't not know-how, nowhere life. This is an experience that you're having. But it's not mine, because life is in the spirit. The body's nothing. Life is in the spirit. The body's nothing. That's why he says to him, don't you know that you're God's? Because he creates us as gods. Not capital G, only God is the capital G. God is the original creator. Don't get offended and think, oh, what nerve you have saying that there are multiple gods. I'm not saying that at all. God is God. but he makes you as gods in terms of your likeness and image to him. But God does not make you the original God. He just simply wants you to have the great joy and pleasure and happiness, the peace, the love, the joy, the freedom, the creativity of the God mind. That's what he gives you when he creates you. I'm going to make you that you can have the same ball that I have, and in the same kind of existence in which you have the fullness of freedom to expand as much as you want. That's the spirit. Life is in the spirit. It's a different world. The body and its world is nothing. It's nothing. And so, how do we handle the fact that we could believe that this world is something? Well, you're not going to let go of that fact that this world is something until you feel comfortable with what the replacement is. God cannot take this world away from you, this world of physicality, the world of bodies, the world of all of the instability, the fears, the tsunamis, the hurricanes, the typhoons, floods, all the kind of stuff that goes on in an unstable world, because it's physical. God cannot, though, take this away from you, because you don't know that anything exists other than this world. And so God has to leave this world with you until you're ready to see that there's something different, which is much more desirable, gives you much more joy than this one. And you remember we used the term crash and burn, or you hit bottom where suddenly nothing is working, because I remember those days. I was in my 30s when the crash and burn, that here I was studying psychology and trying to help people and help myself out of the concepts of psychology. And at the end, it wasn't going far enough. And I had seen 3 analysts and trying to learn this, as well as studying in graduate school with it. And it never got down to the basis of why is all of this happening? Why can't I think my way out of it? What is this? Well, you can't think your way out of this unstable world, because it is unstable. And our human mind is unstable. There's nothing that you can do about it. It's not the God mind. It's not life. It's a created concept that we have of wanting to be able to play ourselves with a world that we are now going to make, because life is in the spirit. And we want something different. That's the story of Adam and Eve, that they wanted to be their own creator. God said, hey, have fun and give you everything else. You can have matzo ball soup and whatever it is that you desire. Enjoy it. I have given you everything. Oh, yeah, but hey, Eve, he didn't give us being an original creator God. Yeah, he didn't do that, Adam, did he? And off and running, that they were now going to create something that they felt they didn't have. Yes, yes, God gave us all that stuff, but I want to be an original creator. So how do you do it? You violate what God makes, and you come up with your own concept of what you should have, and sure enough, they do it. They chomp the apple. Oh, with all the peach trees around, they had to chomp an apple. And so they chomp the apple, and they now have a different kind of world, a different kind of experience, because they deviated from what God was. And they're scared. They have made a world, and the first thing that they experience is, quick, hello, let me order a palm leaf or a fig leaf or whatever it is, and send 2 of them, by the way. And there they are in a world where the first reaction is fear. God comes into the garden. Where are you? Where are you? Oh boy, quick Eve, quick Adam, let's blow town here. And they hide. That's this world. It's a world of hiding from God. That we don't experience God in our life as the present right here and now, except after Pentecost, when the Spirit delivers to you the awareness of your soul and its purity and its love. But without that, this world looks real. And I can't convince you that this world isn't real, but I've been out of this world, taken out of it. And it didn't come because I earned my way there. God, I finally did enough I'm sorries, or I gave enough to charity. That's not what did it. That's not what did it. I'm not in control of being able to see which world is real. It is shown to us through, and you know the word, grace. It has nothing to do with you. It has to do with God wishing to deliver to you the picture that God has made you ready for, because there's a lot more happiness in the world of the Spirit. Life is in the Spirit than there is in life is in the body. If you had enough body aches, enough arthritis, enough unhappiness, do you love me, baby? Do you love me? Yes, I love you. Oh, good. Love me. No, I want you to love me first before I love you. You're not going to sucker me to do that. Nothing's stable. Everything is insecure, and for good reason, because there was fear and a resentment behind the thoughts that made this world, that we wanted to be able to have our own individual creation, and then truly we are like God. Well, lots of luck. We sure as heck got it. And you can see what this is like. You can see what it's like. And if you're getting fed up with it and you're seeing there's no answer to this, there is no answer. Indeed, there isn't, because you're in a fantasy. So, what's the answer to this? What do we do? The choice is yours. God waits for you to hope, to desire, to wish that there could be another alternative in which there's stability, in which there is a feeling of safety and belongingness that never is lost, that you are pure belongingness to God and with everybody else, in which there's only connection and fullness of love, of peace. If you are ready for that, if you'd like it, you've just done the prayer. But you're going to have to leave it to God now to very gently move you in on it until the completeness of it is there in the long run. But you have to let it be God's way of doing it. You can't do it yourself. And we'll be talking about why we can't do these things ourselves in another segment.